Today we continue in our streams about a perfect play queue. We are prototyping in Phoenix LiveView. Last time we implemented the basic queue, we added track length, and we also added controls and track scrubbing searcher or track positioning control, however you would like to call it. And today we will finish implementing this one, and we will start to look at the queue behavior and try to make it nicer and more useful. So let me quickly switch to my screen. Okay, so here you can see what we have already there. We have controls. We can start playing. It doesn't really play anything yet. It just simulates the playing by counting time and showing the seconds, or at least it used to. It doesn't now. So I guess we will also need to fix some bug. Okay, yeah, it's going here. Then you can also see that we have a bunch of tracks here. We can skip to the next track. We can go to a previous track. We can go more or go back. So it looks nice. One thing that we don't do yet, we don't show the position here, right? We cannot click and move the position inside the track. So to add that, we will need to work with our beautiful LiveView logic. I will make the font a little bit larger. I think that should be okay. And yeah, the server is already running. So let's see where we are in the code. I haven't opened it since last week, so I need to quickly reacquaint myself with it. We have our state, we have our tracks. Tracks are modeled as track structure, and track structure for now is pretty primitive. It just has title, artist, album, and length. And we have state of our play queue. It's in this module. And here we have a bit more things, right? We have playing index. We have, so index of the playing track. We have a queue of tracks, so that index is related to that queue. And we have play position in seconds. So that's what we were implementing last time. And we also have paused index. So if we pause something, we don't lose the track. I'm really wondering why my state seems to be, okay, pausing, restarting. You can see that we restart in the same track. We also implemented a bunch of domain methods, right? So we have methods for advancing our play position by a number of seconds. And if we overflow, we go to a next track. We can easily show it with this one, for example, where it says the length is only 15 seconds. So it continues to count till 15, and then it switches to the next one. Let's see if that still works. And it does. You can see that it switched to the next track automatically. Then we also can get play position. We can get play position percentage. That is useful to show the progress here, right? We can check if we are playing something. We can get the playing track. We can toggle play or pause. We can pause. We can play. We can play next, and we can play previous. So that's our basic model. Now, last time, what we did, we took this module and we implemented it, and we used it in our live view to make sure that we don't depend on any details of implementation. So here you can see we have just handlers for a specific clicks we can do at different controls. And there is not much logic implemented here. So everything just funnels to the state module. And in the state module, we implement the actual logic. So now how do we make this pointer actually point us to different places in the track? So I think we can reuse our logic for calculating the position, because here what we are doing, we take length percentage by using state get play position percentage, and then we use it as a width percentage of this pink progress bar inside the white container. So in principle, we can connect to a click event here and also calculate the X position of this in percentage of the length, and then we can point to a specific place inside the track. As usual, we will start with Googling. So let's see how LiveView implements mouse events, right? So allocates in binding client side. So we have bindings. I guess that's what we will need. And we have click events. I wonder if you can actually work this mouse here. It will be pretty sad if we cannot actually use mouse. Is send click events to the server is pushed. The map if not set. Kick and dispatch. Okay, so that is just like about propagation. I wonder if we will actually get metadata empty map. Okay. So the event we get from the server, it actually includes client X and client Y positions. So we can actually take this, right? Mention for all clicks. Okay, let's try to implement it. So we will first start this binding Phoenix click to our inner div, I guess, right? Oops, I did something dumb already. Redo, undo. Nine. Okay, I will just fix it more easily. Okay, so here we will need to add also Phoenix click, right? Let's call it scrub. And let's see what happens if we actually add a handler for that. So for now, I just want to inspect what we get in params, and I will say that, and then I will return no reply as just socket. I don't need to do anything here yet. So now hopefully in our EX we will get an idea, so nothing happens. Because we need to not scrap. I need to move it one level up. So this should happen not inside the progress bar itself. It should happen in the container. So here. So now we can see. Okay, we don't get any params. I guess more documentation reading. So we need to, I guess, specifically ask it to pass us the events, right? And receiving a map on the server, the payload will also include user-defined metadata of the client event or an empty map if none is set. For example, the following LiveSocket client option would send the coordinates and ALK information for all clicks. So that's what we need to do. That we need to do in the JavaScript code, actually, I guess. So here. So we have this magical thing, this params, and we will also need to add metadata. Why is that actually wrapped here? Yeah, okay, that's all parts of this map. So, because I was also thinking, how does it work? Here we add metadata and we say for click, we take event, we take element, and we return client X and client Y. I guess that's how it's supposed to look. I want to move it a bit up. So let's try it again and see if it will help us. Yep, we now receive the coordinates. The problem, of course, is those coordinates, they don't help us very much, right? Because we don't actually know the length of element. Or actually, we can also do it in JavaScript, right? So can we do console log element and see what that returns? So here we will need to look at the JavaScript console. We can do that, and then we can do this. So we get this whole DOM node here, right? And in this DOM scroll widths, I wonder how do you offset left, offset widths. So that's what we actually need, right? So let's see. So element x. I really hope I will not break everything now. So let's see, where are we going? Cannot read property hash of undefined. Whoops. Let's see if we can make it undefined. Okay, get element x position in event handler. So oh, it's a method of set, but it's with jQuery. I wonder if it will work with this. Undefined. Get bounds in client record. Okay. Okay, we got something more reasonable here, right? I wonder how it also corresponds to our coordinates here. So I will just copy this in here so you can also see it. I don't want to copy it here, but let's just open a new window and oops, I will copy this text here. So that's what I'm receiving now from JavaScript. So, and on my server, I'm receiving this stuff. So here you can see that our Y position is in the range and width. Okay, it seems that it matches. At least it looks like that. So then we can clear it a bit better. So instead of so we can take X, Y, and widths. So let's call it rectangle element rect. And then we can max X is equal rect X plus width. So, and then we can take those magical things and copy them there. Element mean y. So, let's see now. So I will refresh it, I will close it, and I will try to click. And we got a bunch of numbers. So those numbers look reasonable to me. I wonder now if I click in the close to the end. Yep, exactly. So like we 4 pixels apart from that, which looks reasonable. And if I click somewhere in the beginning, we are in the beginning. Yeah, also 4 pixels. So like, yeah, looks good. Okay, so now we have all the coordinates. We get our parameters. I wonder if our other patterns work still. Yes, it works. Actually, oh, so, oh, interesting, because in those situations, because we don't report them. I think we still receive them for other things as well. So if, if I put it on next and say next params, yeah, you can see that we are now getting that on all our elements, right? But thankfully, it's not a big problem for us. They all seem to continue working. So now with those scrap params, we need to calculate the percentage, right? This is completely client information. So like putting it inside state, like this logic for calculating which percentage of the track we clicked on just doesn't make much sense because it's just the client-side logic and it will be changed whenever we change the template or our LiveView module. So that's quite bounded here. Let's see. Okay, I will just click once more. So I have those scrub parameters here and I can look at them while I'm writing code. I find it a bit easier. So let's see. Okay, now I'm starting to write JavaScript here. Let's see if we can calculate the percentage inside the track. Track position percentage. And that will be, so essentially we just need to consider X, right? We don't care about Y position there. So we can just say those parameters, we can also, by the way, always just map here saying client X. Okay, that actually will look rather ugly, right? So we'll just say params client X. So if we take the minimum and we take the maximum, it should be divided by a sum of params element min x params divided by, oh my god, my math is so bad. So like we need to take the maximum minus minimum. Okay, so like 1% is params element max x, params element min x. So that's, I guess, 1%, right? We can copy this in and call it params. Thankfully, we are in interpreter, so, and then we can see if our calculation makes sense. So Does it? Does it not make sense? Does it actually multiply it? And if I then take this and I divide it by that value, what I will get? Okay, I'm way off. We need to, so we need to take maybe difference of those. We need to take, yeah, okay. So scrubber, okay, position control length will be this. And then we can, so, okay. Then we can take the normalized click position, and it will be this minus this, I guess. And then, so we can take this thing and divide it by this thing, and hopefully, and of course multiply it by 100, right? Okay, that looks like a correct calculation. So let's also inspect it. And let's see what we will get when we are clicking. So this is like 2%, this is 0%, this is 48, this is 51, this is 96, and this is 99. Okay, it looks correct to me. Of course, this thing, we can accidentally divide by 0 there, but I think it cannot happen if our track is larger, and we won't for now try to handle this case. So I think that's actually sufficient for us to get the track position percentage. And then we need to do something with our state, right? So we can say state set play position, and we just pass our current state. So socket assigns state and track position percentage. Now, for now, that will do, and we assign the new state in the socket. So for now, of course, we don't have this function, right? So we need to go to state module, and we need to add it. So I will just add it here. I will collapse this thing. So what do we do? Like in principle, we cannot really overflow here, right? The next moment, even if you place it to 100%, next moment it will go to advanced play position and should switch to the next track. But we can try to make it break later on. When we update this play position in seconds, so we'll need to take some of this logic anyways. So we take the plain stack track, and yeah, of course, we take its length, then we take the new play position will be length multiplied by Actually, we don't need to, okay, we don't need to multiply by 100 here. We can then just take the multiplied by track position percentage. So we take this, we convert it. And we actually can implement this logic here. So that in principle should be our thing, right? We can just take the logic from here. We will need to call it, of course, set play position. We can also copy the docs. Oops, found a little error here. Sets play position of to the specified track position percentage should be between 0 and 1. Okay, so let's see if it will work. Woo! Something broke. Let's see what broke. Bad argument in arithmetic expression. Ooh, our length is expressed as date time, right? So we need to do this as well, right? So like we are calculating the length in seconds now. Okay, let's see. Something still breaks. You. Oh, and we obviously also need to convert it to integers, right? The integer is not defined. I think we can just go around. Yay, it works. Okay, so now we can navigate inside the track. Now, one thing that I just noticed is that we actually screwed up a bit with the placement of things here, because this indicator on the right should be actually, it should always be track length, I think, and this should actually show the position, but we can fix it rather easily, right? So here we can say, so this is our play position then. And I wonder where is, so we take get play position percentage, get play position. We will probably need to add another helper here. Position percentage. Or actually, we don't even need to get play position percentage. Get play position length. Get playing track length. Or maybe we can even also do it with pause tracks, right? Because then we can also show it even if something is paused. So what does it need to take? So it takes the state and it should return no, it should return actually a string. So it should return out nicely. Oh no, it should return actually duration. Yes, it should return the duration, which in our case will be. Ooh, we don't specify times, but I would imagine that this is naive date time. is it actually? It's just time. So time. So then get plain track. So if we get some track, we take the length and we return the length. If we are getting nil, then we can also do we have here we need to pass state get post. How do we toggle play or pause? Here we should play plain index. So we just do this, right? Get play position, plain track. Let's also get post track. Yeah, we know the post track onion. So here, if we can do this, and if we get nil, we return just zeros, and if we get not nil, return length. So that's the length of the currently plain track, and or if not plain, the length of the post track. If there is no post track, returns 0 seconds. Nice, right? Let's also, since I noticed that, I want to add some helpers here, module doc, and I also want to define a type here. Where we will have title, which is a string, we will have artist, which is also a string, album is also a string, but length is time. And here I can say creates a new track. New string, time C. Okay. So here then we can also take track length. How do we call it? Call it like that. I even do this here. Play position, track length. Actually, I can also just do it like that, right? I don't need to. So then we take this, and here, instead of play position, we put track length. Oh, and we forgot one important thing. We also need to pretty print it. So, okay, that looks better. So now we have, here's our total track lengths. And here we can see that we can navigate throughout the track. Cool. Okay, and the switching logic works. Okay, we are done with that. Let me quickly commit it. So now we need to think a bit more about the behavior of our queue. What can we do with this? Oh yeah, by the way, I want to quickly check this here to see if, oh yeah, scribing works perfectly, even with like hours and stuff. The spacing though is a bit unfortunate. I think I need to add some classes here, right? So position time. I don't need app.js anymore, but I need my controls pane. I wonder if I did it correctly and if I'm now, okay, now it looks way better. And look, since our logic on, oh no, I did it incorrectly. I need to move them around. Oh wow, interesting. I guess they just don't fit. Oh wow, that is interesting behavior. And if I remove this padding, what will happen? Oh wow, okay, so it grows with the length of the track. So here it's smaller, here it's bigger. Smaller, bigger. Okay, that's funny. And if I try something shorter, can I notice the difference? No. This is fascinating. By the way, I also noticed that this doesn't really switch, right? So here we have some error in the behavior because it should be, what does it? Oh, no. It does everything correctly and dump. Do we, so we have this, I'm not sure what is happening here, so I will do my favorite trick and I will just give it some background. So, and when we play this, okay, our bounding box doesn't change, but our, I now understand, because our length things, they don't have fixed width. Flexbox moves this depending on what they show, and like you cannot see the effect when you have this, because here you can see that I don't need it anymore, because here it's always like 4 characters, but here it can be 4 characters or it can be 7 characters, and that's the difference. So what we need to do, I think, okay, I'm a bit dumb. We just need to give it not padding maybe, but fixed widths, right? So why don't you like it? I guess we ran out of space. Yep. Actually, wonder if we need that big thing. So let's look at this. Okay, that's sufficient. Okay, we fixed this bug. Let's check again. Everything is nice and tidy. Okay, we don't get the weird behavior anymore, and it looks nice, and it also always have the same size, not depending on which track we choose. Okay, that's good. I wonder. Okay, let's think about the queue. So here we have one thing that I don't like about it compared to Spotify. So let's take our beautiful Spotify again. And here you can see that they have very clear definition of like the current playing track, right? It's like very obvious and compared to with all the rest stuff that we have in the queue. In the case of us, we only get this like slight indication of what is happening with this background, but that's it. Like, of course, we can scrap and it will switch, and you still can notice it, but still it's a bit tougher to do. Another thing, we haven't even looked yet at how to exit the queue, right? It's completely immutable. We just have this one list and we just navigate from that. Of course, normally what you would want to do is to edit what you see on this list. I think what do I want to attack first? Actually, I wonder if we can set scroll position to this automatically. Like, would it be annoying if our queue just scrolls itself to the currently playing track? Oh, by the way, another thing that I just noticed is that we don't even show what we're playing, right? So maybe where can we actually show it? Like apart from here, we don't show it there. Do we need to write it again, what we are playing there? I'm not so sure. I'm also not sure if we want to go the whole way of modeling the albums and artists now. I guess we can. And of course, also we don't have drag and drop yet. So a lot of things that we can do that. I want to do this stream and I want to do another stream, so I need to choose something that I can actually accomplish there without going completely crazy. So we need to choose. I think let us go with maybe adding stuff to the queue, right? We can create to, but then we will need to create a lot of domain model for that. Alternatively, we can of course try to implement drag and drop there, but that can also be funny. And we can also make the stuff more pronounced. Okay, let's start with the first one. Let's try to scroll to the current plane track and see how it behaves, right? So I believe in JavaScript we can actually easily do that, right? So set scroll, okay, JavaScript scroll to element. Scroll into view. This is something that actually will probably be easier to do when we use JS here, but then we need to also call it somehow when we switch to a new track. So we have this. So blah, 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 simulating latency, loading states, client hooks. Connected. So we don't have a way to just we cannot just pass an event from server to JavaScript here. Oh no, there is also push event and handle event on the client. So yeah, oh, and they even have an example of infinite scrolling. That's pretty cool. So let's look. Data page, a Phoenix hook, infinite scroll. Then in client they say it's hooks. Spend in. So when you do the scroll, push it, chats in, when someone can do this. No reply, push event. Ooh, so that we can actually do. That's amazing. So we can, okay, that's really, really cool. I didn't know that you can do that from LiveView. That means that we can literally just assign stuff here, right? Chart, new points. So we can take the current element and we can, how do they create these hooks in JavaScript? You have socket params get attribute. They just pass it as hooks, right? So, okay, we can open our app. Okay, hooks. And then hooks is just a dictionary. Then we can add hooks for track is plain. How it actually, how does it connect with element? Must be said. Okay. let's call it scroll to it. Scroll to track maybe, and we then can say, okay, when it's mounted, we need to react to event. So just copy some code here. So we'll call the event new track plane, and we will get the track index, right? So here we can do track index, and then we can Yeah, today the stream accidentally became a stream about interoperating with JavaScript, but I think it's really cool because we can see how we can make this a bit better. So yeah, how we can make more rich interactions and how we can actually bring some JavaScript logic where we really need it. So yeah, this is how you do this, right? So get element by ID. So I guess it will be track with, I think that how it works. Oh, no, I'm dumb. I need to use this thing, I think, right? And then I need to use this, and I think it works something like that in JS. Like this, yes. So track element, track div, and then we can do it, scroll into view, and then we will need to, when we generate our track list, track class, where we already have track index, right? We can also set an ID here. Now, I'm really not a fan of IDs because IDs introduce global variable in JavaScript, and then you can create really crazy stuff with them. But here, I think we don't have as a nice choice. So we need to set an ID here. I will actually put it before class because I think it should be more pronounced that we are setting it here. So it will be track. It actually will be something like that, right? Because it's like track, and we add index here. Or actually, if I'm writing this logic like that, I can as well. Track ID. Let's see. Yeah, of course. Oh, so let's see if that was successful. Oh yeah, it worked. Right? Yeah, it did. For now, at least. So, where do you place this hooks in? I think we will need to we have Phoenix hook that we will need to place, I guess, here. It's called scroll to track. Okay, stuff is happening. And then we need to do the push event thingy, right? I really wonder if it will work with us placing it on the container, not on the element itself. but I guess there is only one way to know. So, by the way, why doesn't it like it? Oh, really? Oh yeah, I'm done. So this is of course float, and here, okay, it should disappear. Yeah, disappears. So when we get play by index, we need to push event. When we get this, right? So when we advance stuff, actually, no, I think I will just do it for on play this. So how is our event is called? It's new track playing. And then we can pass track index is track index here, right? Undefined function push event. No. Okay. Ah, yeah, here, Phoenix Live push event socket. Okay. Push event 3 push redirect. This is in the current version, right? Why isn't it happy about this? Maybe it's actually added in a recent version, right? So let's see. Push event. Let's see if we can find it. Actually, which version of LiveView are we using? 0.13. Ah, okay. I guess we will need to update. See, we are living. Yeah, okay. So I guess we are updating to the latest version. Let's hope that this will actually work. Yeah, sure. Mix requires dashboard. I wonder if we can also update this in. Okay. Now the main thing, of course, if it will still work. So yeah. Okay, our app still works after the update, which is nice to see. And now we can also, it also doesn't say anything. Wow. Oh yeah, that is no longer needed, I guess. But now we can also see that actually nothing happens, right? Oh yeah, because it actually says bring into view. I wonder if, okay, first let's see if our hook is actually triggering. So Yeah, triggered for right. So hopefully no DOM ID for hook scroll to track. Hooks require unique ID on each element. Oh, okay. Isn't that beautiful? Playlist. Okay. Okay. So, oh wow, it works. Isn't that amazing? We just implemented JavaScript logic that interfaces with LiveView via server sent event. I think that's pretty neat. I guess they just do document get element by ID, and that's why they require ID here. That's beautiful. But yeah, let's just while we have this login, let's check it. So, whoa! Something broke really bad. What doesn't it like? Play by index. Ooh, okay, we found a bug. That's good. It's always better to find a bug than not to find a bug. So yeah, triggered, triggered, triggered. And in principle, our behavior already looks quite similar to Spotify, right? This is so beautiful. I am so happy. Now, of course, one thing that we also need to do it in this thing, right? So when we advanced by our clicks, so let us extract the thing. So state get. Do we need to get play position, get play in the path, track length, play by index, set toggle module, play next, play previous. I wonder if we can actually improve the interface here. So like play next right now just returns state, but it can as well return state and plain index, right? Plain index. Return, okay, returns a tuple of new state and the new plain index integer. So then this is our state. And so why do we use play next anywhere? So play next, play next. And I will just say this so that actually no, let's not do that. It's nothing, but I feel we may end up regretting it because then we'll need to put it everywhere and also do the same for play previous for consistency. So returns the new state. We can always provide a helper for that, right? We can always say, so we are currently saying advanced get play position, get play position, set get play in track, get get plain track index. So the currently plain track in the queue. Oops. Or nil if nothing is plain. So we have this magical thing, and then we can take this and we can say plain index from state state. So okay, so that works. Look, this is so beautiful. Like, of course, this doesn't work, but this works, and this works. Nice. Okay, we can, by the way, also remove this thing. We don't need it anymore. Then we can do the same for back, right? So if we go for previous, we can do this, and then actually this code we can also just maybe simplify a bit. So we take our socket and we pass it here, but then it returns the socket, so we can just do this. It's a bit, okay, I can just do socket. Repetitive, but look, isn't that beautiful? So now our plain track is always first, but if you want to go back in the queue, it's easy. We can just scroll up and press. And I think comparing to Spotify, if you look at that, if I start playing and then I go forward, and you can see that we get this like thing popping up on top, but we cannot easily go here. Like if I go here, then it mostly will just play this track. It won't play next tracks here. Here, my order in the queue is maintained. So if I play here, it will play first this, then this, then this. And like you essentially don't lose your history, and it always plays in the same direction. And you always get nicely visible on the top first playing track, the same as Spotify, but without all the additional tab and all additional thing here and showing everything in reverse, and then actually still not working properly. So you play an album and then you want to go back here and like play it again, and you just cannot do that. There is no control of that. You need to add album to the end of your queue and then manually drag it up. And here we just solve this by better modeling our state. And of course, you can see also the difference in how fast we can do things. So yeah, it's very, very cool. I really love LiveView. I think it's an amazing technology. One thing that we don't do yet here, though, when we advance to next track, like nothing will happen, right? Right now, we will lose this thing. So in 3 or 2, 1 seconds, it goes to the next one, but it doesn't move it up. So after some time, we will lose the position in the queue, especially if you're listening to something and then it goes down, 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 down. and then you don't see it, and then you need to scroll and search for it. And if you have a long queue like I have here, it will be pretty hard to actually find it. So one remaining thing for us is, of course, advancing. We have this handle info thing that is reacting to our ticks. We can then also see. Actually, here is one interesting thing. So we don't want to reposition stuff while the track is playing, because then we will prevent our user from navigating through the queue, right? Like if I'm scrolling and looking what is up or what I was playing before, and every second it goes and scrolls back, it will be pretty annoying. But okay, let's first implement the most basic logic here. So we can actually take exactly the same thing, right? We can take socket. We can then, so let's go here and let's scroll almost to the end and see what happens. So you see now we implemented that correctly. So now it jumps to the next track when it finishes playing. But of course, the problem is when I try to scroll, you see it returns back. It's very, very annoying. So that what we need to do, we only need to jump when we are playing the next track and when the user is actually in the position. Oh, like, yeah, we don't need to jump every time we start to play a new track. The condition for jumping will be, we need to jump when user plays, like if you press on play, then we jump. If user doesn't scroll, then we can just continue doing that. But if user scrolls, we need to maintain his position. That will be like one behavior, right? Another behavior would be we can actually do it like only when tracks change. So then the problem, of course, with this behavior is that if user is losing, like for user, it will be completely unpredictable when this happens. And if you're listening, I don't know, to grindcore, where tracks can be like every track is 15 seconds, then it will be no different from this behavior, right? It's like you scroll and then it jumps, you scroll and then it jumps. So I think the behavior where you're actually going here and like playing it, like where it recenters only when it starts to play, it's better. Then like when you can just click and it will recenter and then it will continue to center, and then when you scroll, it removes this behavior. So we need to trigger specific state change on user scroll. So again, more complex interaction, we probably will need more JavaScript, right? So let's see if there are any bindings in LiveView for scroll positions. And I think, yeah, we will implement that and we will be done for today. And next time we will look for grouping stuff in the playlist and removing things from playlist, I think. So forum events. The bounce state trigger. Yeah, I guess we will need to go back to the JavaScript thing. So how did disconnect? So we can actually add event listener to scroll like they are doing here, right? We will actually, can we have multiple hooks? We can actually use this thing. It actually doesn't matter. So we can also say, So we will add this, like, and we will, okay, let's just do this. So just log something, right? Will it even work? I think handle event is on dump. Yes. Nothing happens. No. Listen to scroll in the JavaScript. Scroll. Okay, on scroll we get a function. Actually, on dump. So it's not a function. Yeah, sure. So nothing happens. Am I even doing it right? On scroll event. So console no. Add event listener scroll. This is like scroll position of the whole window, I think, right? Should execute request animation frame. Or an element has been scrolled. So it works also for request animation frame. Okay. I'll just do this. And let's see if I just add it to window. Nothing happens. Maybe I should just do it like that. It doesn't track the scroll at all. Yes. I also hope that we didn't make any syntactic mistake here. Oh, it still works. So I'm amazed that it doesn't want to trigger for some reason. Let's see what else are we doing incorrectly here. So scroll add push event. So I wonder if I will completely go bananas and add something here. So this is our playlist. I can also just do this maybe. right? Well, that doesn't exist yet, but okay, this is really ugly, but actually I can even do it like that. Console called me. Call me is not defined. I hate JavaScript. Console is not. Oh, of course it's not. Are you happy? Okay, we are triggering something. Okay. Finally, we made something happen. We didn't do it through hooks. We did it through manual JavaScript. It's tagged playlist. But okay, we can add a bit of logic here. So now we need to push event back to server. So we can just do, oh, this here is in the hook. Let's push event. So we actually need to do it inside the hook. Shit. Aha. Okay, I will still try it. I wonder. Okay, only first one is outputted actually. And if okay, I'll just do it like that. So like I will put it here now. Nothing happens. How can we fix it? We can try to. Okay, let's just Google LiveView scroll event and hope that we can find something. So they just use scroll event, but then scroll to, and so there is socket hooks. Okay, they fix something. Scrollable element. Add event listener scroll. So maybe okay, maybe I'm really just mixing stuff up now. Is not a function. Okay, shit. Again, oh, why? Why this is not a function? Ah, oh my God, I understand now. This thing is probably something that is completely bonkers. It's probably not the elements. I think, yes, L is the DOM node. So we need to do it here on the DOM node. Is still, oh, and now it happens. Oh my God. Okay, that is beautiful. We don't need the crazy stuff. So we can just drop the stuff here. Thankfully, we now have this. We need, like, the main thing here, this is not an element. This is some magical class. And element is actually a property named L inside this thing. And then on that, we can actually call add event listener. And then we can also just print the, let's just print the stuff that we get here, I guess, right? So this is one thing, this is another thing. What do we get? UE event, this is undefined. Well, we actually don't even need the event, right? We can just scroll. So again. So that's amazing. So now when this happens, we need to push event to server. So we can do this push event. I think what was the magical? So yeah, push event, event payload. So that looks like add event listener, value match. Let's load more. We can just say, for example, user scroll detected, user playlist. Actually, we are not scrolling the user. User is scrolling the playlist. So yeah, we don't have, of course, handle info for that yet. We will have it in a second. So right. And here on the server, we can just say, I can just even do scroll. And then I can just for now return the socket. So if that is, okay, something broke. Okay. We need to, okay, I'm done. We need to handle it as a normal event, of course. So, okay, that looks ugly. So we are removing this. So instead, we say, so we take this, we ignore params. So like, actually, we can see what we get. Right? So then we can clean this, we can clean that, and we can see, okay, we don't get any params because we don't pass any params, which is fine because we really don't care. The only thing that we need to do, we need to disable the logic for pushing stuff to we need to disable the logic that moves everything up. So instead of pushing new track plane event every time, we can actually new track plane is named that is very misleading here, right? It's we don't care if the new track is playing on the JavaScript side. We only care if we need to scroll to the top. So let's take this. I will temporarily toggle this up. Let's see where we are using this. So here we will just replace it with scroll to playing track. Okay, that makes more sense. Now, what we need here is we need to save in our state, not in the state that is the playlist state, not here. We need to save in the state that is LiveView state, because this is something that we only care about inside the LiveView itself. It's like it has nothing to do with the playlist. It's just like line behavior. So in this state, we need to save if we want to scroll to the playing track. So look, we have state and we have scroll to playing track true now. And then we need to extract a helper here. So helpers. Yeah, it's time to separate our logic here right a bit. So here it will be server generated events. Here it will be user client events. So, and here we will have helpers. So we can define a helper which will be doing this thing, but also looking at our client state, right? So we can say push scroll event if needed. Push track scroll event if needed. I prefer, like, it's very long function name, but it's very descriptive. So I think it's better to have something like that, that having something that you cannot then read. Here, what do we need? We only need, actually, and that also allows us to easily segregate our state. So we need to take socket and we need to take a new state. And then we need to see. So if in socket assigns, you have this. We just return socket. Playlist state. Actually, we don't even need, we can always just set it before, right? Socket assigns state. And then we can say socket. So that's our logic, right? We can then take this stuff. We can actually write this back here. Socket. We can write a comment for ourselves. Pushes main track event to client JS if user didn't scroll the playlist manually after playing the current person appearing on track of the person play for specific track. Okay. So now first let's see if it works. Well, we didn't use it. Of course it works. We didn't change anything yet. So okay. We just can take this and do this, right? So then, okay, it still works. Beautiful. And we can now remove this logic from here, do it here. So we have previous, we have next, and we have this in advance as well. It's also nice that now our logic looks cleaner. So then for playlist scroll detected, the only thing that we really need to do is to do socket. We assign this thing to false. And for when somebody selects a new, so when we call play this, so this is like, okay, actually, so we have this play this, and here, apart from assigning state, we can actually do this. And then we can also set this magical thing to true. And then, oh, and we, by the way, also don't need this. We can just okay, so let's see if this all works. In principle, we implemented everything. So when we go next, oh, okay. Huh. So like when we navigate, it works. But why? I don't actually. Okay, let's see. Scroll to plain track false. Let's print it here again and see. So, oh wow. So, okay, that is funny because we are now in a feedback loop with ourselves, right? When we press this in, then it generates the event for switching to the next track. We push the scroll to plain track event to JavaScript. JavaScript scrolls into view, which generates scroll event, which then we push playlist scroll detected event, which we then get here, and then we disable the scrolling. Whoops. Okay. That is a funny bug. Let's see if we can somehow maybe detect it. So do we actually need to maintain the state in JavaScript? Like, how do you even distinguish, right, between scrolling by mouse and scrolling by us switching something here? It's so weird. But okay, whatever. Oh yeah, we also get this. So we get this. Let's print this thing. Maybe it will work on this. Is trusted. Okay, that is not a very useful thing, right? This element. This is tough thing to solve actually. It is interesting if we can. So if we look, we can of course have some stateful logic here in JavaScript, but this is so ugly. I really don't want to do that. It's it kind of defeats the purpose a bit, right? Having this whole thing here happening, then having it here, and then we can, of course, also just ignore the scrolling the next moment after we press play for some time. In principle, so we can. How can you do that actually? Can you thinking if we can somehow ignore it by maybe having some kind of timeout? This is not really nice, but oh, okay, we actually have some logic here. So, okay, that will be really fun thing to do, but we can also do this. So we already have a logic that does ticks every second, right? We just have this send interval, and we send this tick event. Now, this tick event, we can, this sounds funny, but we can also assign the tick thing, right? We can tick count. So we can take this tick count socket right? Oh, okay, it doesn't allow me to do that, but fine. We just can increment it. So we increment it and we will get a number for each second. Thankfully, in Elixir, that will not overflow because it has big integers. So every second, we take this and we say tick count is equal socket assigns state tick count plus 1. And then here we can print our tick counts, right? So we can take socket assigns state tick count. So now, okay, this is really dark magic that will happen. Okay, so we also broke something. Let's message tick. Tick count not found in tick. Like, does it know? Okay. Maybe I'm doing something really dumb here. No. Actually, okay, because no, it's still not there. What is happening now? Do we kill state somewhere? Page live state. Oh yeah, okay, of course. This is not needed. That was a mistake. So now we can now we have those tick counts, right? And we can okay, that doesn't happen. So you see, we got like those seconds counted. And the idea is now when our seconds are numbered, we can, okay, this is a bit crazy, but we can see what was our last second when we got, what was the number of the last second when somebody pressed on the button for playing. And if it's just inside the same second and somebody is scrolling and we get scroll event, then we don't count it. So we assume that scrolling will take less than a second. I think it's a reasonable assumption to make, but of course, stuff happens. This is a bit junky logic, but sadly, scrolling and drag and drop are always a bit junky. And I think this is more or less reasonable assumption here. So tick counts, we will need to save, apart from tick count, we also need to say play this last tick count was tick. And we can also add some information here, right? So we can say we use tick count to prevent us from looping between scrolling to the new playing track when somebody presses on the play button on the track and us detecting user scrolling. We distinguish between user scrolling and our scrolling by comparing tick counts in last tick count observed during the last play this event handler execution count tick and the current tick count. So now what we need to do additionally. So on play this, we also assign this file. Actually, let's just say 0. And we need here, okay, we can say socket assigns tick count. Those are helpers for intelligent scrolling behavior. We need to record the current tick count here. Scroll event we generate and user generated scrolling event. Okay. So now jumping user to unexpected positions when a new track starts playing, when the user explores the playlist. We use the tick count is current and this plastic to distinguish the user scroll the playlist, in which case we need to disable auto scrolling to a new current track. Let's set in to false. And user clicking on the play this track button that leads us to always scroll this track to scroll to this track and set to true. You see, there are a lot of comments that I just wrote even before implementing logic, but this is a case where you really need to write comments, right? This is a non-trivial behavior, and this non-trivial behavior is really justified if you want to implement the user experience you want to implement. So not much. This is an example of the complexity of the domains that you cannot really refactor much, and yeah, that's life. Okay. So now we need to see if okay, actually. The count minus socket assigns is larger or equal to 1, then we detect it, right? Okay, let's see if this worked. So, actually, let's see. Ooh. Nothing should happen now. Yep, exactly. However, if I jump here and then I go here, oh, okay, let's try to. This is really a tense expectation right now. Will it jump? Will it jump? I don't know. I really hope so. Kind of logically it should, but yeah, we did it. It jumps automatically, but it doesn't jump on next anymore. Why don't you jump on next? Maybe because actually, yeah, why doesn't it jump on next? So when we do play this, we say scroll to playing track true. When we do next, yeah, we just need to also enable it here, right? So scroll to playing track true. But actually, why? Like if I press it here and I press it here, there should be no scroll event right now, right? It should just automatically. Okay, it goes here. and here. And here it doesn't. And that is because of what? I'm not sure if I get this behavior. If I look at the, so we set it to true here, we set it to true here, then we start to count 6. Then at the moment, okay. This logic only works when you press and play and then you move stuff around. If you press on next, what happens? It scrolls, but then we don't reset the scroll to plain track to true like we do here, right? So we need to do it also in previous and next, right? Scroll event if needed. So we will need to rename this stuff. So comment in play this handler. Of course. Okay. So now that always happens. That works too. The moment I scroll, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't auto scroll. The moment I jump, it scrolls again. The moment I jump back, it scrolls again. This is beautiful. Okay, that is the behavior I wanted to implement. One last thing that I want to do before committing and finishing today's stream is to rename this because now it's misleading. So let's play this last tick. Play. Play track. Play selected. Let's take this button in here. Right? Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. I think I wrote play button. Play button is a track or next track previous track buttons. Physics 13 this previous. Oh, okay. Everything's amazing. Okay, I think we implemented some pretty complex behavior today. We learned how to move stuff around with this pointer using percentages of the track length. We fixed our layout a bit. And the main thing, we did this nice behavior for moving around the queue and showing the currently playing track on top. I think we also looked at how to integrate Phoenix LiveView with JavaScript, sending events both to JavaScript and receiving events from JavaScript. So I'm very impressed by the capabilities of LiveView. I'm really impressed that we were able to implement such a complex logic so easily and that it was so easy to debug when something went wrong. So far, LiveView is really the best front-end technology I ever tried by far. And I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. See you next time. Hopefully next week we will finish up with the play queue, and next time we will start streaming something new. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.